Okay, so I want to welcome us to analysis this afternoon. Today is Thursday, the 16th of January 2025. We're looking at the fundamental analysis, and that's basically what we'll be doing this afternoon. And we're looking at events coming up by 2:30 p.m. today. The core retail sales, and unemployment claims, all from the United States by 2:30 p.m. That's less than 2 hours from now. Now, for this event, we already have the forecast. We are expecting the actual data. Now, for the one that's different, every other one, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. But when it comes to the unemployment claims, it's actually less than forecast that is good for the currency. But just to have, not to bore ourselves with the entire details, we're looking at whether the data is good for the dollar or bad for the dollar. So if the data comes out all good for the dollar, it will all be in color green, and that will lead to a massive bullish movement on the dollar. If all comes out bad for the dollar, they will all be in color red, and in that instance, we expect a massive bearish movement on the dollar. But it's also possible for some to be green, which is a buy, and maybe one or two other ones to be red, which will be a color red. If that happens, we'll see a zigzag movement in the market. So a green for buy and a red for sell. If you have a conflicting data, green or possibly red combined, it may be advisable to just stay out and watch how the market will react first to that. All right, I'll flick to the chart now to give us a clearer view of our expectations. So we'll start by looking at the dollar index. Now for the dollar index, at the beginning of the week, I held a bearish outlook on the dollar based on what I saw on the dollar index. But as we speak, as a technical trader, we need to trade what we are seeing. Just give me a second. All right, so I said it earlier in the week that the dollar index is trading within the rising wedge pattern where price has been making a series of higher highs and higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Now, the next wave of movement will be a higher high. And why is that so? Which is, a bit different from the earlier view of the market at the beginning of the week. Why that is so is because we see price is touching the trend line. And not only that, yesterday, price closed as a rejection candle. That may be giving us a bullish outlook on the dollar at the moment. So we may be looking at an opportunity to buy the dollar if the news comes out good for the dollar. And if we look at the USD CHF, we will see there's a similar kind of outlook on this USD CHF. Because on the weekly time frame, we see clearly that price hit a resistance level on the weekly time frame. And on daily, we still have that bearish outlook. But then, again, the candle that closed yesterday closed as a rejection candle on the daily time frame. This is the doji. And it may trigger a bullish movement to the resistance level. So technically, I would say we are bullish on the dollar. But then it's possible, what if the news comes out bad for the dollar? We'll also look at that. If the news comes out good for the dollar, you may look at buying the dollar. If the news comes out bad for the dollar, it will be advisable to wait for a break below the trend line to take a sell. So in today's analysis, we are actually in between buying and selling. Let the market win. Let the market direction that is more favorable, let it be that which will win, because markets can go on either of the directions. But then if the news comes out good for the dollar, it will be a short-term movement. Price will only go to hit the resistance up there and may still possibly fall. If the news comes out bad for the dollar, price can just continue selling without having any hindrance. So the better is still to sell, provided the news comes out bad for the dollar. The best option is to sell if the news comes out bad for the dollar, and that's on the USD CHF. If you look at the USD card, you will see that the USD card is still looking more bullish at the moment. I said it in the analysis yesterday that we are at a critical point on the USD card. If price breaks the support zone, it's a sell. If price does not break the support zone, it's a buy back to the resistance level on the daily time frame. So just like what we saw on the USD CHF, USD card, if the news comes out good for the card, may approach the resistance on the daily time frame. And if price hits that resistance, we will end up with what's called a triple top pattern, which ultimately will still lead to an opportunity to sell. But then we're looking at what is obtainable in the market for now. If the news comes out for the dollar, we may look at buying USD card to the next resistance level. If the news comes out bad for the dollar and it breaks this support zone, which is a triple zone, then we will see a massive free fall in USD card. So a short-term buy and a longer-term sell. That's my outlook for the USD card. So we have the same view on both the USD CHF and the USD card. Short term, we may be buying if the data comes out good for the dollar. Longer term, we may be selling if the news comes out bad for the dollar. All right, that'll be all on my analysis this afternoon. But before I go, I want to show you one instrument I'm also putting my attention on this afternoon session. That is after all the news, and that is the BTC USD. That's the Bitcoin. For the Bitcoin, on the daily time frame, you can clearly see that the market is in an downtrend. Price is trending downwards on the daily time frame. On the 1 hour, we're seeing the formation of what looks a lot like a shoulder, a head, possibly a second shoulder, and then we see a massive drop in BTC USD. Additional information is that we have a rising wedge pattern to help us filter the price further. But generally, we're bearish on the BTC USD. Even if it is a short-term movement, still hold the bearish outlook on the BTC USD. Price needs to break the support zone, which acts as the neckline of the head and shoulder pattern before we trigger a sell. All right, so that's it for the news this afternoon. A short-term bull on the dollar and on USD card, a longer-term bearish outlook, both instruments. So I'll attend to the request here. Somebody saying, Solomon, saying I should check gold and Okere Precious, GBP, JPY. So let's check gold. All right, so this is gold. We start our analysis on the weekly time frame. I'm not really seeing much. On the daily time frame, from my early analysis at the beginning of the week, I said that if the dollar is going bearish for the week, gold will go bullish. And not only will gold go bullish, it will hit this resistance that is very close to on the daily time frame. And if you look closely, it looks like the tip of the rejection candle on the daily time frame is hitting the resistance zone on the daily time frame of gold. So if price does not break above that current level, we will be seeing a decline in the price of gold. That is, gold might have to go bearish. If a new candle does not appear above this current level, we're looking at a reversal of gold. All right, so that's my outlook on gold. We need to wait and see what's going to happen. You can see the current 1 hour candle is trying to form a rejection candle, but then it's still relatively young to take a decision. I mean, relatively early rather to take a decision. We'll put our attention on gold, and if it eventually evolves into a trade, well, we'll see how we can take it. But then you can see this 1 hour gold is trading within this rising wedge pattern. I'm anticipating a possible drop in the price of gold, maybe later today after the news. So I hold a bearish outlook on gold from a technical perspective. GBP USD, since we are bullish on the dollar, we might just look for bearish opportunities on GBP USD. And that's my outlook for that. You can see this GBP USD on the daily time frame. We had the previous support level here, and the candle that closed yesterday, touched that previous support as a resistance. You can see it's a resistance there for yesterday. And if it's a resistance, we expect price to decline. So on the 1 hour time frame, we are seeing the possibility of a reversal pattern forming. But either way, even if it forms or not, we're going to be looking at selling the GBP USD if a new candle opens below this trend line and will target that support zone. On the averages can give as much as like 65 pips. So we're bearish on the GBP USD, provided price breaks this current trend line. Finally, I'll look at the GBP JPY. Okay, I found it. All right, so this is GBP JPY. I gave a bullish outlook on this instrument yesterday, though the trade did not trigger, but we still put our eyes on it because of the technicals that we found around it. This is my view. Even after yesterday, you can see price is in an uptrend. Though today's candle seems to have broken price downwards, yeah. But on 4-hour, we still have a valid support zone. And if price respect this level and decides to go up, then we will have a double bottom pattern, which can trigger longer term bullish movements on GBP JPY. If that happens, this region will be the neckline. So it will be a zone for us to enter fully into the trade. So I'm bullish on the GBP JPY. Abdul, yesterday I lost money for your signal. Which signal are you talking about, sir? New Zealand did not trigger. It was a pending order. Maybe you entered it straight. There is a difference between an instant execution and a pending order. I gave a buy stop order. So you didn't take the instruction. That's not on us. You didn't take the instruction. It was a buy stop order, not an instant execution. And it's not triggered until now. So if you took it correctly, your account will still be safe. Please let's learn to follow instruction. There is instant execution. Instant execution means you enter now. You didn't use it correctly. Thank you, Ekwe. Can say Ekwe is responding. It did not trigger. So use the instruction, follow the instruction correctly. It was a buy stop order, not an instant entry. And I told you it's a swing trade. So even up to now, it has not triggered. If you still want to wait for it, if you're not, you can close it. There will be other signals that will still drop later on. All right, so that will be all for this afternoon. All right, trade safe. News by 2:30. Trade is safe. We're in between on the dollar. If it comes out good, just don't stay too long. Just pick some few pips and be out. But if it comes out negative, that can give you longer bearish movement on the dollar. All right, that will be all. Trade safe and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.